How y'all doing? It's Bambasta Tahimba, founder of Young Kings 1000, along with my brother Sekou Tahimba. And we started Young Kings 1000 back when I was in college at Tennessee State University. I started it the day after I got cut from the college football team. I was real sad, depressed, needed something to keep me motivated and keep me busy. So we was listening to Meek Mill's debut album, Dreams to Nightmares, and he has a track on there called Young Kings. So as we were listening to the track, we said, what are we gonna call this brand? So therefore we called it Young Kings Clothing.
Yeah. And at that time, I was a junior in high school. I was still playing basketball. I wasn't really focused on my future that much if it wasn't concerning basketball. So I remember my brother calling me, and I was on my way to school, and he told me, yo, bro, I'm about to start up this brand called Young Kings. Because at the time, Meek Mill had put out a song called Young Kings, and I guess it had just resonated with my brother, the name Young Kings, and he just took that and ran with it.
And my brother always had a saying, keep it 1000 or 1K. So as the years went by, we collabed the two names 1000 with Young Kings 1000 to be more universal branding, because a lot of women would complain about putting Young King. They say, we don't want to wear something that say Young King, so you know what, we're gonna put YK1K on all the clothes, or so it can be more universal to everybody. So now it's YK1K. So it's kind of like a brand evolution.
So me and my brother, I remember my dad never bought us any designer clothes, but my mom, she would be the one to buy that type of stuff. When my dad say no, we would run to my mom. And I just remember that so well, just because I have to thank my mom for buying me some of those clothing, just because it shaped me and my brother's sense of style at a young age.
I never forget, I made me a custom YK African outfit for my 21st birthday, and I went out to the club in college, man. I was walking around, and this random girl stopped me and said, hey sir, I just want to let you know I don't know you, but I want to let you know you look like $1 million. You like $1 million, man. Can't nobody tell you nothing right now. You look the best ever, and I was like, wow. This outfit, if I was wearing an outfit I got from the mall or like all the rest of my peers, I wouldn't stand out. So therefore, making an African outfit out of, African fabric gave me that power over everybody. It made me look like $1 million, which ain't saying much, it's material, but it just lets you know the power that them fabrics can have over, somebody. So therefore, I want everybody to feel like they worth $1 million.
Because at that time, I had just wore an African shirt to school that my mom had brought from Africa. And it was a button-down shirt. And I wore it with some Jordans, with some nice pair of jeans. And people's response was out the roof. They loved it. They wanted to know where I got it from. And in my head, it clicked like, man, I could really make some money off of this stuff.
I grew up at the Pan-African Connection bookstore with Bandeli Tahimba. He's the founder, along with my mom, Kwete Tahimba. And my dad and my mom have been going back and forth to Africa for probably almost 30 years. So my first time going to Africa was in high school, and I loved it. It was different. I grew a love-hate relationship for it, because growing up in America, we're pretty much spoiled. We have everything, technology, hot water, not as bad mosquitoes, sleeping in comfortable beds and living situations. But in Africa, man, it's totally different. You have cold showers. You might not have electricity 2 or 3 days out the week. No Wi-Fi. You can't be on your cell phone, on social media and stuff like that. So it kind of had an effect on me, but it grew on me. So now I'm pretty comfortable with it.
Growing up as a kid, man, my dad always influenced me to start our own business, just because I never saw him work for another man. My dad first took us on our first trip to Africa. I was in the 7th grade. It was around spring break time, and I'll never forget it because I didn't want to go. I was young, into sports, not really thinking about my future or stuff like that. I just wanted to have fun with my friends in my neighborhood. And I remember he made me, my sister, and my brother, he made us go. We didn't have a choice.
That experience there gave me and Sekou the confidence to be able to travel the world and build different relationships with different manufacturers. So 3 years ago, we went to China. We didn't know anybody, went out there and met different manufacturers that actually got the wrong size shirts. We got 300 shirts that were like Chinese sizes, which the 3X fits like a large and the small fits like a toddler size shirt almost. So we came back to America, man, we got 300 shirts that's the wrong size. What are we gonna do? So, we came up with a plan, and I feel like that lesson there, having 300 shirts, we had to really turn up our marketing and our, our business sense, cause like how are we gonna get rid of 300 shirts without taking a loss? So, we made it happen. So, certain lessons make you stronger, make you a better business person. So, we've been going to China for about 3 years now. We have great relationships with different manufacturers and different people over there.
So thinking back to the effect that the first trip when my dad took us to Africa, that it had on me and my brother, it was huge because when we went back to Africa, they embraced us with a sense of, it was just real love because my pops had spread so much love in those markets. It was the same markets that we returned to. And when my pops died and when he left, they maybe thought that was the end of that prosperity that he brought with him. But when we returned, we saw it in their eyes like he's back, but he's coming through you guys. And that was it made us feel good.
And man, we love it, man, being able to travel, network, and being able to work with so many different people, not just people here in Dallas. You have to spread your brand out for people here to appreciate it, because they're not going to respect it unless you're taking away from them. So, traveling and also just staying humble, man, and staying true to our culture and what our parents taught us growing up inside the Pan-African Connection.
So growing up, my dad was always a staple in the community. Growing up in this family business, and I saw so many people come in and everybody respected my father. He would have debates and discussions with men from all over. And it don't matter if they agreed or disagreed, they always respected. They left with respect for my father. And I used to see him have these discussions with politicians to drug dealers, just all types of people. And he would treat everybody the same. And he wasn't the richest guy, but they would treat him with a lot of respect. And I just always remembered that.
Yeah, so as growing up in the Pan-African, there were always events going on. And as a young guy, man, I didn't truly understand, I wanted to go outside and play and, be a kid. But, my dad kind of raised us pretty fast. So almost every day it would be a different event. We would sit in on that revolutionary roundtable talks. I didn't understand as a kid, but I appreciate all those events and seeing all that organization now, because I realize the importance of being organized and having a team around you and actually meeting, because if you don't meet with your people, man, people are going to continue to be lost and not have a sense of direction. So I remember my dad always say, Africans get organized. We have to get organized. So therefore I see all those lessons more so now than I did when I was growing up. And it's really helping me out as a businessman, because it's letting me see the things I need to work on and how I need to keep my business structure very tight and run a clean operation. So I appreciate all the events and seeing all the things I did see my pops do now, because it's helping me become a better businessman as well as a better man as well. As growing up in the Pan-African, man, it's kind of a staple in the city of Dallas, and everybody knows about the Pan-African Connection. Everywhere we go, that's Bandeli's son, that's YK1K's son. So we have to carry ourselves a certain way in every single interaction we have with anybody. You have to be in the public eye, you have to be respectful. You can't, go out and act crazy because it's gonna fall back on us in the community. And you don't want people viewing you as, a bad person, because people are very judgmental, man. They hate to say it, but people really are judgmental. So you wanna make sure you carry yourself the right way at all times, especially if you have a business, like a family-owned business right here in the center of Dallas that relies on the people's support. So Bandelli used to go to a lot of different schools and, talk to the entire school about African culture, about the revolution. And man, as a kid, man, I used to be kind of embarrassed, seeing my pops come in our school. He's come to my school sometimes, and he have African clothes, man, on, and all the kids would laugh and, play jokes and stuff like that. And, I was kind of embarrassed, man, honestly. But now I appreciate that, because those same people that were laughing at, my pops and stuff, they have so much respect for me now. They look at me in a whole different light, because they see what he was really talking about. They see the message he was bringing to the table. So, seeing my pops go to different events and talk to different people passing out, revolutionary propaganda, as well as spreading the culture in Dallas, man, was huge, because a lot of people were scared of that type of stuff, man. A lot of people he'll walk in the door and they'll run away, because knowing who you are is very important. A lot of people don't know who they are, so therefore they're scared of who they are. They don't want to know they're a king or a queen. They don't want to know they come from greatness. They want to think, oh, I come from Oak Cliff, I come from Dallas. I remember my pops used to always say, where is a black person from? People identify with land. There's no such thing as black land. There's no such thing as light-skinned land or brown land. Everybody comes from a land base. And if you have melanin in your skin, you come from the continent of Africa. And I think everybody needs to know that. Everybody, thinking, oh, I'm from Oak Cliff. Nah, brother, you're not. That's the last place you could be from. If a German Shepherd is born in my backyard, he's going to be a German Shepherd regardless. So it's just identity. So I think my pops wanted people to identify with who they was, and that's one of the things I respect about. No matter who you are, he wants you to identify with your history and your culture and who you truly are. All right, so growing up, we had to wear African clothes, and we wanted to wear Nikes. We wanted to be cool like the rest of our peers. But, we kind of didn't want to wear them. But now, as we got a little older, we started embracing our culture and the different fabrics that come from Africa. And we transformed it into the lane of hip hop, and to the point where now our peers, they love it, man. Everybody want to come in here and get the African drip. It's all about perception. You perceive, oh, it comes from Africa, we can't wear that. No, you got to realize all fashion comes from Africa. All these fashion designers, they get their ideas from the African culture. They're the biggest cultural vultures of all time. So it just tells you perception. People perceive it comes from Africa, we don't want it. So therefore, me and Sekou and the Pan-African, we're trying to change that perception and let people know these African fabrics, man, you're gonna look the best in it. And if you don't get a compliment, you can bring it right back. And some of the goals for YK1K coming up in the future is, we just want to get more versatile as a brand. We this past year we dropped some jeans and a lot of different stuff we never did before. So 2019 we want to just get versatile and do all type of stuff to where you could be YK from literally head to toe. Some shoes are in the works. Also, it's workout gear, maybe even some socks. Everything. You want to make sure you can be YK down. I want to be more of a complete brand in 2019, not just t-shirts and pants and stuff like that. I want to be a complete brand to where it's nothing that we don't have. We want to be able to produce everything. And I think that's the goal for this year, man. Be more versatile and create brand new things that we never did before. Don't do the same thing we've been doing. Give the people something brand new. And another thing, man, I realized as we've been doing this clothing, it's more for the people than ourselves, man. The people are what keep us going. It does something to us when we see the people wearing our clothes that we don't even know. Our customer base has grown so much. It's people who don't know me and Sekou. Like, they'll walk right by us not knowing that we actually made the clothes they're wearing. It's getting to that point now, man, and that's a blessing, man. That feels great when people just love your work and they're not doing it to support you. They want to buy your work, and that means a lot to me and Sekou. So, man, we just been working hard, and we just want to make it a brand for the people to where it's gonna be here forever, forever, and forever.